tried to threaten us about.
Tell us, sir, what's going on now and what are the new developments?
Well, what's going on is the fight continue to push for justice for Kendrick, and the judges tried to threaten us about trying to stop us from adding the GBI to Kendrick's case. And she threatened us. She said, well, I just dismissed the whole case. She said, I told y'all not to add the GBI, but we can't not add the GBI because the GBI is the one who enabled this lie. So we have to push for justice for everyone, not just part of them, but for everyone.
And I want to remind Black people in America just who the GBI is. That's the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. But that's the same Georgia Bureau of Investigation that lied to the whole country and the world and said that Wayne Williams was responsible for all of those Black boys and children being murdered in Atlanta in the early 80s. Even when the Georgia Bureau of Investigation had detectives to come forward and admit after they retired that the Ku Klux Klan was involved in killing those Black children, and yet the Georgia Bureau of Investigation refused to turn over actual evidence that named what Klan members were involved. So I'm not shocked, Mr. Johnson, when you speak about the GBI and why they want to protect the GBI in the state of Georgia. They have a long history of turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to the cause of justice for African American people. And this judge threatened you. What's this judge's name?
I can't call her name right off the top of my head, but I just can't call her name right off the top.
Do you remember the court number, the courtroom, or what building?
No, it's the U.S. It's the District Court in Atlanta.
So it's the U.S. District Federal Court in Atlanta.
Yes.
And the problem with these federal court judges, they're lifetime appointed judges. So they don't have to seek elections. So they really don't bow to the will of the people.
Yes.
Tell us about the new affidavit, the new evidence that came forward from a sworn affidavit in this case, where one young man gave a sworn affidavit that spoke about one of the prime suspects in the death of Kendrick Johnson confessing to the murder.
And someone in that in on the other side of the defendant's side, they gave him a lie detector test and swore up and down that he was lying. And so after he passed the polygraph test, and the lady tried to apologize to him, saying he was lying, and so after he passed the polygraph test, they just dropped it. They didn't mention it anymore.
So this gentleman came forth and said that one of the prime suspects confessed it to him and gave him details.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, they had arrested him too.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, they had arrested him too.
And this was after he was arrested after giving the sworn affidavit.
Yes. Yes.
And this gentleman was willing to take a lie detector test.
Yes.
And passed the lie detector test. But at first they tried to lie and say he didn't pass it.
Yes.
To try to ruin his credibility. And then they wanted to turn around and apologize to him for making a mistake, saying he didn't pass, that he actually passed. And now they want to apologize. But this is after you put him in jail to hide him away, to shut him up, to intimidate him, to frighten him. And yet there are several witnesses that have come forth stating that they were threatened and they were intimidated to shut up and not speak in this case.
Yes. And he was not the only one who they arrested. They arrested another man named oh man, I can't call his name right off the top of my head. His last name is Chalmers.
Go ahead.
I know his last name is Chalmers. They arrested him too, and held him in jail for a while until he agreed to change his story.
Wow. They put him in jail and held him there until he agreed to change his story.
Yes.
So there are two men in the Kendrick Johnson case. One who gave a sworn affidavit took a lie detector test and passed. They quickly put this man in jail and hid him away. Another gentleman came forth who was a witness to what took place with Kendrick Johnson. They took him, created a reason to put him in jail, and told him, you'll stay in jail until you change your story. And he was forced to change his story to get out of jail.
Yes.
There is a serious conspiracy to cover up the murder of Kendrick Johnson. We don't believe young Kendrick Johnson rolled himself up in a wrestling mat and died from asphyxiation. We do not believe that. Daddy, I know you don't believe it. We're asking the men and women of America to get back involved with this case. We're calling on God-fearing men and women to volunteer their time and their efforts to lead a movement for answers and true answers and a real investigation in the Kendrick Johnson case. We're asking you to go to the KJ Foundation and email your support. Go to the KJ Foundation. Leave your information if you're willing to volunteer and become a part of this movement for justice for Kendrick Johnson. The Kendrick Johnson Foundation is alive and well. And if you want to volunteer, if you want to participate, if you want to help be a part of this movement for justice for Kendrick Johnson, go to the KJ Foundation, leave your contact information, and we assure you someone will reach back out to you. If you want to leave a tip, if you want to leave some information that you were too afraid to share with law enforcement, if you were threatened to keep your mouth closed like others have been in this case, we want you to reach out to the KJ Foundation, please, and leave your contact information. If you have vital information that's been hidden from the family, hidden from the public, hidden from the community about the death of Kendrick Johnson, please reach out to the KJ Foundation and leave your information. There's a tip line being put together right now. When that tip line is completed and it's ready to go, we will reveal that line to the public and share it all over America. Dad, what else would you like to say about your son's case and your son?
And I like to say something else about the GBI. There's a fracture on my son's head, and the GBI, not only that skull fracture that you can clearly see, there's taser marks, there are footprints all over my son's body. And the GBI turned a blind eye to all of that evidence. So there's no way in the world that we can afford to leave them out of something that they turned a blind eye to. She didn't report what she saw on my son's body.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. We really appreciate you, brother, coming forth and sharing that vital information with us. Ignoring footprints, ignoring taser marks, ignoring blunt force trauma, even when a second independent autopsy states that blunt force trauma was directly involved with the cause of death in this case. We're calling on the Department of Justice to reopen this investigation. And do not reopen it when investigators connected to the father of one of the suspects in this case, who is a retired FBI agent. We need a new set of eyes coming in from D.C. to reopen this investigation. Mr. Johnson, what else would you like to share with us this morning?
And in an investigation, we need an investigation to come in that Lowndes County have not have anything to do with the investigation, because they are not going to uncover something that they covered up.
Thank you so very much, sir. We thank you for joining us this morning, brother. We thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, please share this story across America and the world, as you always do. To the faithful viewers of the People Global News Network, we thank you once again. Because of you, the people, these stories go viral all across America and the world, only because of you, the people. Thank you.